And here we are, another project. This one was for my 7-year-old son. Started off with a Razor pocket mod, stripped it all down, shaved off all the brackets that we didn't need, made a floorboard just out of a 1/4-inch ply, and then I just shot it with some bed liner. Real easy to do. I also added in foot pegs to this, so now he's got like motorcycle foot pegs. Put some grips on there as well so his feet don't slide off. That was a big deal. He's 7, so when he had his feet on the floorboard, his tush would basically slide all over the seat, and he didn't have good control of where he'd keep his body. He was just using his hands to control his body, which you don't want to do when you want to save your hands just for steering. So with the foot pegs, it actually helps him center his body on the seat, keep his butt planted, and he can lean and do whatever now. Way better. Another huge improvement for a young guy is this thumb control. So originally it had a cracked throttle, twist throttle, and it was only a 2-position on and off. I have another one of these that's like 1,000 watts, and that one's a monster. Anyway, I let him try riding that one, and the issue that he'd have is you'd start to crack the throttle, the bike would pull, lurch, and he would just crack the throttle more, and he'd be flying. I mean, front wheel starting to come off the ground flying. So no good. When we did this one, thumb control, he has a nice good grip on it, and he can go nice and easy with the throttle. So works out perfect for him. He still has a tendency to just floor it, but he's only doing that when he's playing around. So if you do change the throttle on this, you also have to change the controller. If you're familiar, there's a bracket right here for the controller. Originally I cut that off and I flush mounted this to the frame. But in this case, I had an LBD 14 controller that's back from when my kids were into Power Wheels. My older kids were into Power Wheels. So that control box got to be 8 years old. I did open it up, make sure there was no spiders living in there and no rust on the circuit board. It was all good. The caps are rated at 50 volts. I wanted to confirm that also, and they are. So I'll get back to that in a second. But the original style motor's in here. This motor is actually off our other pocket mod, which was basically brand new when I got it. So he's got a brand new factory motor. It's only 250 watts at 24 volts, but with this system, it's perfect. He's, probably barely pushing 50 pounds. So there's almost no load on this thing at all. What we did do on this, I'm running 2 scooter packs, Lipo. So those are 40 volts in parallel. Each one is 4,400 milliamps, so he basically has 9 amp hours. Before you say, well, you're going to kill the motor, I'm going to get to that part. We added in a circuit breaker, so really nifty. Basically, it's a flush mount, and all you got to do, pop that in to reset it. Hit that, instantly disconnects the batteries. So when you're not using it, you can simply disconnect the batteries. Real simple stuff, and just worked out perfect. And you don't see it at all when you're on the bike. So no one would even know that that's there. So getting back to why am I using 40 volts on this bike, which is obviously going to kill the motor. That's what I had. I had them from the other scooter, and they were earmarked for the other scooter. I never put them on, so they went onto this one. So how do you make this all live? Well, if you're familiar with electronics for a potentiometer, these are a 5-volt system. Basically anything 5 volts going in, and you're regulating the signal coming back. So anything below 1 volt is 0, which is no throttle. Anything above 4 volts is full throttle. When I measured this one, it was below 1 throttle off, which is perfect. Full throttle on this turned out to be 3.7 volts on this on that throttle control, which is a little bit low, but it didn't matter because I wanted to lower it even further. So on the signal wire coming back to the control box here, to the controller, I added in a couple of resistors, and that dropped the voltage down to 2.2 volts. So the maximum voltage coming back from the throttle can only be 2.2, which worked out perfect. It's actually a little bit faster than stock, even with it being so trimmed back, but that's because of the 40 volts. So this type of system, it's a pulse width modulated, so the motor is still getting 40 volts, but it's only getting it for little increments, and that makes this motor survive. Still, the thing's a beast for him, but if I ever wanted to, I could simply upgrade the motor and then pull out those resistors, and then it'd be a complete animal, which we don't want just yet. Everything came out pretty awesome on it. The paint job is just the Rust-Oleum spray can. I'm kind of shocked at how good it looks. The shine is awesome. I did hit it with a couple coats of Rust-Oleum clear afterwards, and I always lay down a base coat of primer, which helps. So that's pretty much it. I'll show you some video of him scooting around on it, and maybe I'll do video on the other bike too.